Hi everybody, welcome, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're viewing this from. My name is Carl Hopwood. I'm part of the digital citizenship team here at European Schoolnet, and one of the things that we do is we manage the Better Internet for Kids project on behalf of colleagues at the European Commission. So you're here for this webinar, DSA for Youth webinar for teachers. And the webinar is part of the DSA for Youth Protecting Minors by Design campaign, which is focusing very much on the DSA guidelines for the protection of minors, and that includes things like age verification, age-appropriate measures. And what we hope is that this campaign will translate the guidelines into clear, practical, jargon-free resources that teachers can actually use to fundamentally help to keep children and young people safe when they're online. So the key focus of the webinar today is to look very specifically at how safer internet centres in Europe, and there's a safer internet centre in every EU member state and some others beyond as well, but it's looking at how they are using the DSA to create a safer online environment for children. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time sort of explaining what the DSA is, but I think it's important just to kind of set the scene slightly. So back in 2022, the European Union created the Digital Services Act. So this is a law which applies to online platforms, and it doesn't matter whether they're based in Europe or not. As you know, the internet has no borders, but you know, the aim is that it'll help to keep all internet users, but very specifically including children and young people, safe from various kind of risks, as well as protecting their rights online. So the DSA is a lengthy document, but one of the things that it says is that online platforms have to ensure a high level of privacy and safety and security for children and young people when they're using their services. And I think what that means, you know, is that children need to feel protected and safe when they're using these apps and social media platforms and games. And one of the things that the DSA has done is it's designated some of the largest platforms. So platforms that you're probably very familiar with: TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and so on. These are platforms which have more than 45 million monthly active users within the EU. And these have been designated as very large online platforms, and they have to comply with even more strict regulations about, you know, the kind of content that they're making available. Now, in July this year, July 2025, the European Commission actually published guidelines on the protection of minors, which is to help all platforms to clearly understand what they should do to keep children and young people safe online. And we're going to share more information about this later on. But the guidelines are basically built on three main ideas: that children's rights come first, and so that the platforms should respect children's rights and always act in the best interest of the child. That platforms should be designed with safety in mind. So, you know, we don't wait until something goes wrong and then think, oh, crikey, you know, we need to go and put some safeguards in place. They need to be built into the design process. And they also need to be kind of appropriate for children's different ages and stages. We need to think about child development. There shouldn't just be a one size fits all. And finally, the third kind of principle is that we need to understand the needs of users, and so platforms need to think carefully about how their services are actually used by children and young people, and the risks that they might face when they're in those spaces, and then take action to kind of deal with those risks. So, as I say, we're going to hear from three colleagues today, from Italy and Greece and Portugal. We're going to hear from Barbara, who's part of the Safer Internet Centre in Italy. We're going to hear from Vivi, who leads the Safer Internet Centre in Greece, and Sophia, who does the same in Portugal. And they're going to explain a little bit about the work that they're doing to try and bring the DSA closer to young people, to try and make it come to life. Now, as we're kind of going through the presentations, please feel free to stick any comments and questions that you have into the chat, and we will try and make sure that we've got time to come back and revisit those at the end. But that's enough from me. Really delighted that you can all join us, and without any further ado, let me pass the floor to Barbara. Thanks for joining us, Barbara.
Thank you very much, Carl. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here and to share the work that the Italian Safer Internet Center has been carrying out to support schools, teachers, and students in navigating the digital world safely and responsibly. Today, I will walk you through our experience with the Digital Services Act, and in particular, how we have translated this important European regulation into practical educational tools that schools can use immediately. This presentation summarizes how the Digital Services Act can be transformed into a meaningful learning opportunity for students. Our approach combines regulation, pedagogy, and youth participation. The DSA, as you know, is one of the most important digital reform in the EU, ensuring transparency, safety, and fairness. For schools, this matters because students are daily users of platforms governed by these rules. And so in this sense, understanding the DSA means understanding the environment where students spend a large part of their lives. So teaching the DSA goes beyond legal knowledge. In our opinion, it is a gateway to digital citizenship education, helping students recognize rights and responsibilities online, encouraging ethical behavior, strengthening media literacy. When teachers address the DSA in class, they help students move from passive consumers to active, critical digital citizens. In this way, teachers are at the center of this process. They facilitate critical conversation on misinformation, disinformation, fake news, online risks, privacy, online behavior, integrating DSA principles into civic education, and ICT supports a whole school approach to digital well-being. Just a quick look to the Italian Safer Internet Center. The Italian Safer Internet Center operates with a strong national and within a strong national and European ecosystem. It is coordinated by the Ministry of Education and works with other ministries, independent authorities, university, NGOs, and we are part of a network of 30 European Safer Internet Center within the Big Plus strategy. This ensures that the materials we provide to school are reliable, up-to-date, and aligned with EU priorities. Our center includes 5 main components. The Awareness Center, which develops training and educational materials, also included the e-policy and the educational toolkit, the helpline supporting children and families, the hotline enabling anonymous reporting of child sexual abuse material online, and the teacher panel, which co-designs school resources, the youth panel bringing authentic youth perspectives, and together these 5 components ensure comprehensive multi-stakeholder approach. The SIC, the Italian Safer Internet Center, also created a DSA training module complete with Italian resources to support schools in updating their e-policy according to the new regulation. What is the e-policy? What is an e-policy? An e-policy is a strategic document created by each school with guidance from the Safer Internet Center. It helps schools define their approach to digital technology, online safety, privacy, bullying prevention, and digital skills development. Also, the youth panel produce video and multimedia on the topic of DSA. Here, there's just a link if you want to just have a look in autonomous way. But go ahead, because another tool we develop is our educational kit, which is a structured teachers from preschool to high school. It includes worksheets, activities aligned with the comp, inclusive adaptation for children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities, because children with special educational needs abilities attend the mainstream class in Italy, and based on international classification of functioning, disability and health, children and young people version developed by the World Health Organization, and multimedia resources. The kit helps teachers turn their classroom into a real digital citizenship lab. To teach the DSA effectively, we use inclusive approaches, age-appropriate content, active learning through real cases, peer learning and co-creation, scenarios, and gamified tools. These methods help students understand not only what the DSA is, but why it matters in their daily life. We provide complete, ready-to-use workshops for different schools levels. These include hands-on activities, group work, Mentimeter, and youth-led materials schools can adopt immediately without extra preparation. Just two examples. The first one is an activity highlight called In the Virtual City, Respect is Real, for primary school. This activity helps younger students explore the digital world by imagining it as a city. They learn that just like real cities need rules, digital spaces also require protection and responsibilities. It makes abstract concept concrete and support critical thinking, creativity, and digital citizenship. This slide shows the structure, identify problems, discuss them, create rules, study the DSA, and link it all together. I mean, it is a simple but maybe powerful format, especially for primary level. The second activity, called Smart, Safe, Aware, is for older students. We offer a more advanced workshop. Here, students explore the DSA through debates, case analysis, and youth-led recommendation for very large online platforms. This activity encourages mature reflection on regulation, rights, and platform accountability. This is the full workshop plan, an initial icebreaker, a DSA explanation, group work with research, youth-oriented recommendation, presentation, and QA session. Everything is designed to be flexible and easy for teachers to implement. Just to go in details, these slides present the Mentimeter questions we use to engage students. Each question introduces a key DSA concept, misleading ads, harmful content, cyberbullying, age verification, very large online platform, and helps students connect these issues with their own online experience. Here, in the scenario related to online safety issue and DSA, here we use a real lifestyle scenario. Students analyze Patrick's experience with a trading scam and connect it with the DSA. So, transparency, advertising, risk mitigation, and protection for children and young people. This activity strengthens critical digital awareness. And some tips, just some tips. This slide explain how the DSA would address Patrick's situation. Add transparency, illegal content removal, protection of minors, accountability of very large online platform, user rights to report. This could help students understand how policy translates into concrete protections. Just move quickly to the conclusion. So in our opinion, the DSA, and in our practice, the DSA is not only a regulatory tool. It is a powerful educational opportunity instead. By integrating DSA into civic and digital education, we help students understand their rights, think critically about online behavior, and participate responsibly in digital life. Teachers, in the sense, play a crucial role, a key role in empowering the next generation of digital citizens. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Barbara. You covered an awful lot in your time there, and we really appreciate it. I think it shows very clearly the kind of depth and quality of information that Safer Internet Centre colleagues are producing, and I would urge you to go and look in more detail. We'll share some links, I'm sure, to where you can find some of this content. I also think, you know, that you talked about the case studies, and we know that that's a really effective way of bringing things to life for young people. It helps them to understand, you know, the impact that it's going to have. And I think just the other thing I took away from what you were saying was about the importance of empowerment. This is about giving young people, you know, the skills themselves to be able to deal with what they're seeing. So thank you so much. That's a great start. And let's move very swiftly on to Vivi, who's going to kind of talk about the situation in Greece. So Vivi, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm expecting control of the slides, actually.
No worries. I'm sure we're going to pass this
to you.
Which I
do not see at all at this very moment.
Somebody in the background will be making this happen, I'm sure.
Yes, Vivi. So you'll need to click take control, and then we'll accept it. Just a second.
I just did, and then the take control disappeared.
Okay, just a second. Let's try again.
Okay. Should I wait for the full view before I take control? No, I take control. I request. Okay, normally I should have control of the slides now. Yes.
Okay, is it good now?
Yeah. Yes, I can see the mouse, but I don't see how I can go to the next slide, to be honest. But in any case, maybe I can. Can you change the slide? Okay. I see it now. Okay, great.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you very much for the opportunity you gave us to present our work related to the DSA. It is going to be a different presentation than the previous one, but still it is work very much related to the application of DSA in Greece, where is our base. I'm going to present a specific resource that we developed. It is a website for child-friendly reporting, because according to the DSA, reporting is a very essential part, and children should actually have the opportunity to make the reports in a friendly way, adapted to what they can actually understand and see. So my name is Vivi Fragopoulou. As I told you, I'm from the Greek Safer Internet Center. Sorina, can you go to the next slide, because I really cannot. Okay, I see it now. Okay, great. So the Greek Safer Internet Center, it operates since 2016 at 4, which is a very big organization. It is a member of INCOP and INSAFE, of course, and a member of the expert group of the European Commission on Safer Internet for Children. We work very closely with the Ministry of Education in Greece, or we produce a lot of educational resources, and all of them are promoted through the Ministry of Education's special platform to schools, to educators, children, schools, parents all over Greece. And we also work a lot closely with the Ministry of Digital Governance for cybersecurity issues, which is another axis that we implement in Greece. So going to the next slide, we have three axes of action. Actually, the first one is the awareness, as I told you, which we implement since 2016, and we have a helpline. When we started the awareness center, then we also incorporated into our center a helpline that was operating since 2009, and SafeLine, our hotline, which is active since 2003. It's a very old service that we provide. Is for example, our organization is the oldest project that is implemented almost non-stop since 2003. And SafeLine was designated last year about like almost 1 year ago as a trusted flagger from the national DSA coordinator. So SafeLine is the trusted flagger, and we use all the channels that we have from the platforms to report content and have it removed very efficiently. So looking at the helpline and the hotline that we have, if we go to the next slide. Great. Our helpline is this one. It provides a telephone service essentially through telephone and chat service, and we also have a chatbot. And if we go to the hotline, the next slide, we see that this is a web page of the hotline. So we thought that these two pages are not very well adjusted for children. They are for the wide public, so they are mainly for adults. And we wanted to build something that was more appropriate for children, because this is, as I said, it is very important for the implementation of the DSA. So now we'll have to go to the website, because I would like to present you the website from my browser, because otherwise I don't think. So this is a SafeLine, and I have to do the initial page. It is a little bit slow, so there is a link there. Can you see it all right? There is a link there. Great. Of course, everything is in Greek, but I will try to explain it as clearly as possible. So if you press on reporting for children, you go to another website, which is a website that is adapted to work for children, that serves better children. I wouldn't say teenagers. I think teenagers could use the main service, but children until high school, I would say. So when we go to this website, there is first a pop-up window which asks the child to provide the emotional state they are in. It's not something that we record. It's something that we give in order for the child itself to recognize the feelings, why it is contacting the website, and why they want to make a report. So there is an option, I feel well, with emojis. I feel terrified, I feel scared, I feel stressed, I feel sad, I don't know how I feel, and I feel puzzled. I mean, these are the emotional states that we select. And then there is a message which prompts the child to talk and to tell us what is the problem. So we start at the base, at the top. At the top, we say, we're here for you. And then we provide to the child information about what this website is all about. At the right here, we see the reporting button. So if you press on this button, then there is a reporting form, which is, of course, especially adapted for children. And here, in the second part of the page, there is some motivation for the children, because in Greece, we don't really have the culture of reporting. So sometimes, and we pass this to children also. So sometimes children, they if they report, they are mean, they are not doing the right thing. So we're trying to give some motivation, like by reporting, you show responsibility. You need to become a safer place. You help someone which is in danger, possibly, and you become stronger. And you should know that you're doing the right thing. Below, there is some information about the fact that we don't keep any personal data. They can report anonymously. So this is the policy of this website. And in order not to spend too much time on this, we go below, which is the main part of the page. And there are 4 different banners here. And each banner is for a different type of recording. The first banner is about inappropriate content. The second one, cyberbullying. The third one, fake information that they show online. Pictures that they shared without their consent. Pressure from peer pressure or blackmail online. Victim of online fraud. And some insulting comments and hacking of an account. I mean, these are the possibilities they get, but behind each one of these banners, if you go to one of them to see what it does, there is a pop-up window which presents the story, because a child does not understand, maybe it's more friendly. We present a story of a cyberbullying, for example, because the second banner was about cyberbullying, and we describe a situation where a child was online, went to an online game, and felt that he or she was bullied online. And how he reacted, he went and talked to someone, and then they reported it to an adult, and that's how it goes. So behind each banner, there is a related story for the child, that to see that if to check if what he feels and what he experiences actually relates to the category it selected. And then here at the bottom, there is make a report, so the same link. And if you press on this, then there is another page which opens, and it is a little slow, but still I think we can see it now. So there is again some motivation at the top, and then they can give us a URL and a description, and reassuring them that we keep their secrets safe. The contact of the helpline, which is our main helpline, where child psychologists actually respond and listen to their problems. So if they want to actually talk to someone, they can call this number. And from this button, they can submit their report. So if I just take this out, so we have these banners for the different types of reporting, and I'm going to finish pretty sure. And if we go down the page, we can see that there is link to the phone number of the helpline, to the chat, because we also have a chat service, and to the email. I mean, depending on which means of communication they would like to use to contact and below there is some advice of what they should do to stay safe and if they experience something bad. And further below down, we have a link to take it down, which is a service from NCMEC, the US Center for National and for Missing and Exploiting, the US National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And this is a service they provide for underage, actually, that would like to report and take down without sending their photos using hashing, to report non-consensual sharing of personal images. So this website is actually a combination for me of the helpline and the hotline, because if a child submits an anonymous report, then this is handled by the hotline, but at the same time, he or she is prompted to contact the helpline for further assistance. If there are any comments or any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer. As I told you, it is in Greek, but I hope that I passed the message of what this is all about. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Vivi. No, you absolutely have passed the message on really clearly, and I think it's great to see the different approaches. I think, you know, it's such a good example, that child-friendly reporting repository, at a way of making, let's be honest, a fairly kind of complex legal framework very accessible to children and young people, because it can help them to, you know, see how they can get help and support. And I also really appreciated what you were saying at the end there, where you made reference to Take It Down, because I think this is all about collaboration, and that there's some great tools and services that we can use. And I think it's great to see that we're kind of signposting to those, because yeah, collaboration is key from my point of view here. Okay, thank you. As I say, we'll definitely go to questions at the end, but let me pass across to our final colleague, Sophia, who represents the Safer Internet Centre in Portugal. So Sophia, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Let me just understand how this works.
No worries.
It doesn't work. Okay, so I have to click. No, it's not working. Okay,
So yeah.
I think it works now. I think I understood how it works. Okay, thank you. So I'm very glad to be with you today and contribute to this webinar. I would like to thank Vic for the invitation and opportunity to present a glimpse of our work. My name is Sofia Rasgado, and I'm the coordinator of the Portugal Safer Internet Centre that is under the coordination of the National Cybersecurity Centre. PTSIC, so the Portuguese Safer Internet Centre, is a long-standing multi-stakeholder consortium currently composed of 6 organizations with complementary expertise, bringing together the Ministry of Education, Science and Innovation through the Directorate General for Education, the Portuguese Association for Victim Support, the Portuguese Institute for Sports and Youth, Foundation for Science and Technology, and Microsoft Portugal. Together, we provide extensive expertise in cybersecurity, digital citizenship, youth engagement, emerging online risks, digital well-being, cybercrime, and specialized victim support through the hotline and helpline, with a strong record of engaging diverse communities. Most of the best practices and initiatives for teachers that we are going to share with you today are promoted and held by our partner, SeguraNet Awareness Center. So I would like to thank them for all the hard and successful work in the field and collaboration within our consortium. That being said, okay. Okay, that being said, we can now move to share the 3 key national initiatives: the Digital Leaders, SeguraNet Challenge, and Teachers Training, where the Digital Service Act is being promoted and addressed in the school community, covering teachers, students, parents, and guardians. So the next slide, thank you. I think it's better, Ina, if you help me with the slides, otherwise I will mess up all. No, the other one, please. The first one. Okay, this one, thank you. Okay, thank you. So let me explain a little bit about what is the Digital Leaders Initiative and what it implies. This is a program that started 10 editions ago, and it's well established as a winner model to motivate students to promote topics that encourage the safe and responsible use of the internet and digital environments. The digital leaders have the mission to engage both with their peers and with other members of their school community, encouraging them to adopt a critical, thoughtful, and responsible attitude in the use of technologies and digital environments. Next one, please. So this is the Digital Leaders Initiative. It's already the 10th edition and has enrolled already more than 3,000 students from around 76 school clusters and non-clustered schools. In parallel, a specialized youth panel takes place composed of around 20 digital leaders who stand out for their active involvement in relevant initiatives at both national and European levels. Next slide, please. So at an European level, as you can see, the Portuguese digital leaders have been representing several significant events, exposing them to rich exchanging and opportunities to fully engage and participate in the discussions and reflections about the DSA, putting them in contact with the decision-making process that impact their lives and truly have a place at the table. Next one. This is our João Lopes. He is a digital leader and also a European ambassador. And we also have this communication strategy in place that gives these young leaders an online presence, namely on YouTube, where they engage in peer-to-peer dialogue. For instance, as you can see in this slide, João Lopes explains the content of the DSA in a way that resonates with his peers. Next one, please. So now I will enter in the second program that we would like to share with you. So SeguraNet Challenge is another standout initiative that we believe is both highly effective and engaging in the field of digital citizenship, and the name is SeguraNet Challenge. This initiative offers a structured and collaborative approach to helping build a culture of digital literacy, safety, and responsibility among all educational stakeholders. Throughout the school year, teams and teachers and their students and/or with parents are challenged on topics covering various areas of digital citizenship, with the aim of raising awareness of the importance of safe, responsible, and balanced use of digital technology. Their mission is to tackle a series of challenges presented over time. Over the course of its 18 editions, the initiative has consistently focused on promoting the critical use of the internet by encouraging meaningful discussions within school communities, thus contributing to a safer, more responsible engagement with digital environments. And the next one, it's about the participant rates on this challenge. The next slide, please. So the participation rates, which reflect how many people respond to the challenge, indicate the program's sustainability and also its ability to engage participants and the relevance of the safety topics being discussed. As an highlight of this edition, we would like to mention the launch webinar on the impacts of excessive screen use, where the DSA was also promoted, and that involved around 800 participants, and that brought together students and teachers also from the autonomous region of Madeira and from Santiago Island in Cape Verde, fostering a rich exchange of experience and learning. So next one, this is the last project that I have to share with you, the teacher training. And the case of the teacher training, the Center, SIC Safer Internet Center, promotes accredited workshops and training courses in the field of digital citizenship, specifically targeting trainers from the 91 school associations training centers. These initiatives are developed in collaboration with national experts and are based on training guidance documents. All of the courses and workshops promote the Digital Service Act among teachers. I would also like to note that all courses are supported by a training platform which provides dedicated spaces for trainers. These include access to resources and reference documentation, support presentations, and suggested activities. The Center also promotes and collaborates in the organization of both face-to-face and online events for teachers to foster digital citizenship education. These initiatives are carried out in partnership with leading organizations and serve as platforms for discussion and dissemination of the principles and implications of the DSA. Just the next one. In addition to all of these programs, three programs that I talked about, we believe it is also very important to disseminate resources and make them available to our specific audience, for instance, children and youth, while at the same time provide age-appropriate information. Therefore, in May last year, we translated and launched a child-friendly resource, the DSA Explained, measures to protect children and young people online. Next one, please. Also, in the same year, we promoted a back-to-school campaign about the DSA with relevant information in Portuguese on our social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook, reaching young audiences, parents and teachers. We are committed to create space to discuss and reflect on the DSA and reach large publics. This year, we proudly join the latest DSA youth campaign led by BIC and have been actively adapting and translating campaign materials for dissemination through our social media platforms. The next one. Just another example on how strategic partnerships and public communication can amplify impact in the field, or in this case, on topics such as the DSA, is the ongoing collaboration with the Ministry of Education, Science and Innovation that has led to the publication of online articles on matters such as the European Commission guidelines and prototypes application for the safety of children online. And the next one. Okay, this recommendation for the promotion of digital well-being in schools, and of course I don't want to exceed the time I have, but I believe that is also very relevant that we share this one because it's a good practice and a good example. So we launched this recommendation in January, which is a guiding document designed to support schools in creating balanced, safe and healthy digital environments for the entire educational community, and that also includes the DSA. These recommendations aligned with the initiatives promoted by the SeguraNet Awareness Center to foster digital citizenship in schools, complementing programs such as the ones that I've been talking about earlier, SeguraNet Challenge, Digital Leaders, but also the School Without Bullying, School Without Violence, and the Digital Academy for Parents. These recommendations are fully aligned with the initiatives promoted by the SeguraNet Awareness Center to foster digital citizenship in schools. So thank you so much. That's all from me. I hope this presentation was useful and can help bring some insights and further discussion topics. So our center is available to you. So reach out and keep up the good work in our school communities. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Sophia. There's such a lot of work going on there, and I think those kind of three key areas that you highlighted are so important. I think the idea of young people, talking to other young people, that peer education piece. I saw that you had the video there of Zhao, which was just fantastic. But also that the reach that the SeguraNet Challenge has had. I mean, it's really significant in terms of the number of students that you've been able to reach. So look, we're quite tight on time, colleagues, but I do want to just quickly go to some questions, and thank you very much for all the questions that we have received. So Barbara, perhaps the first question can go to you, if that's okay. And it's a question saying, do you also work with your own trainers to kind of deliver the DSA sessions in schools, or are the kind of manuals that you talked about only being shared through teachers themselves? So that was a question for you, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yes, as trainer, we work within the field also of formal and informal education. Our activities are not limited to formal school settings. We also promote learning through workshops, peer-to-peer initiatives, youth panels, and interactive experiences that take place outside traditional classroom structures. Formal education allows to the Italian Safer Internet Center to engage learners in a more flexible, participatory, experiential way, which is, especially effective when dealing with digital citizenship, actually and online safety topics.
Thank you, and perhaps just a really quick follow-up on that one, Barbara, as well. I mean, how do you actually motivate the teachers to do the workshop with their pupils? I think teachers will all recognise how packed the curriculum is, how much how many demands there are on their time. So how are you sort of managing to convince them and motivate them that this is important?
We have a strong network of teachers. We have also a teacher panel engaged within the Safer Internet Center, as I said. So this allows to the Italian Safer Internet Centers to reach a large number of teachers. Stay engaged also through our seminars or webinars in collaboration with a twinning platform of Indire. Here in Italy, and we have different tools, methodologies, and way to maintain the engagement of Italian teachers on the topic, and especially on this topic on the DSA. In particular, you have to consider that the 70% of the school are involved in the e-policy development process. So it is a number of schools involved in the project, in the process of developing an e-policy sense. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So it's to do with the infrastructure that you've already got set up, as well as, I guess, the relationship with colleagues. That's great. Vivi, there were a couple of questions for you, if that's okay. The first one was that the child-friendly reporting page that you showed, is that for all topics, for all kind of issues that young people are facing, and also is that the only kind of official central reporting page for online problems?
Yeah, well, we mentioned these 8 categories with the banners that I showed, because these are the most common that we believe children face. However, in the reporting form, they can there is a free text box where they can write a problem and describe something different. Basically, and if we see that indeed that there are many reports for other topics, maybe we can include other categories of content in the more banners with more categories. And what was the second question? Yes, to my knowledge, this is the only reporting page which is adapted for children in Greece. I do not know of any other page about online safety and things like that. But I know there is a website from the Ministry of Digital Governance about bullying, but not cyberbullying. And our helpline is also mentioned there. So it's about bullying, but I suppose bullying also includes cyberbullying, but it's only this category because lately we had many issues in Greek schools and many incidences.
Thank you, Vivi. And there's just
me.
no, thank you. That's really helpful. And there's just one kind of follow up on that as well, if I may. Sort of talking about the fact that within the DSA, there's an emphasis on encouraging users to report content directly through the platform itself. And so the question was about how that principle of reporting directly to the platform, how has that been incorporated into the portal that you shared?
Yeah, it's true that it has not been incorporated because the target group is children that may be less than 13, so we didn't want to motivate children below the age of 13 to go to the platforms. But in general, the hotline, which is a trusted flagger, it is a mediator. It acts as a mediator between the reporting page and the platforms anyhow. So if the platforms develop somehow a child-friendly or teenage-friendly reporting page, we can promote that, of course. But since we don't have it yet, at least, we work with our website.
No, thank you, Vivi. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, in an ideal world, but you provided a solution in the meantime, which is great. Thank you. And very quickly, Sophia, there was just one question that had come in for you. It was related to the teacher training aspect, and just how easy was it to engage with those providers, given again, I suppose that they have a very packed sort of set of things that they need to be working with teachers on. Were they receptive to kind of including this?
Yes. That's the feedback that I have from the Segurenet Awareness Center. That was it was a subject that somehow the teachers want to discuss and want to learn more, so that they can also explain and have that know-how to discuss that topic in the classrooms with their students. So I would say that we don't have the report that has not been we have the report that has been easy and that they are engaging with this topic. So let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Oh,
let's see how it goes. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophia. No, it sounds like a really positive start. So look, colleagues, we're almost at the end of our time. So I just want to kind of, wrap things up really, and just to sort of highlight a couple of things which hopefully are helpful. But I would urge you to look closely at the DSA for Youth Toolkit. And be aware that we have this family-friendly booklet, so that's been written in kind of language that hopefully will make it more accessible. And you can see this on the screen here, which I hope is useful. The whole range of different kind of explainers. You can see there what is the Digital Services Act, who has to follow the kind of guidelines on the protection of minors. What sort of account settings can you use to take control? So we hope that this is real practical stuff that children, young people, families, teachers can actually use and make use of. There's also within the kind of toolkit a lot of other resources from the network. So we've been really privileged to hear from 3 colleagues, but as you know, there's a network of safer internet centres, so there's lots of other content which is available, and that is going to be signposted from there as well. There are a couple of other events coming up. So we have another webinar, which is aimed more at parents. That's going to be taking place next week. There's going to be a kind of live event on LinkedIn with one of our colleagues from the European Commission, who is a real expert at the DSA, and he often comes and speaks to the Safer Internet Centres when we have meetings. So I think if you're able to join that, you will really get some useful insights and better understanding, I think, of how a lot of this is working. And the final thing is just to say, please do go and look for more information from your own Safer Internet Centre. So we've got the network of safer internet centres. We also have a kind of, portal, the Better Internet for Kids portal, which kind of hosts all of this content, and we'll share links to all of that as well. The other thing that may be of interest is that on the 4th of December this year, we actually have the Safer Internet Forum. It's looking at why age matters, and it's about protecting and empowering children and young people in a digital age. You'd be able to join on that. There's an online kind of way to participate. You can see the QR code on the screen now. So please, we'd be delighted. The more people that would attend, the better, and you'll get information about the agenda and speakers and so on. I think in closing, online safety, it's never been so much front of mind. I think it was in Sophia's presentation, she mentioned, I can see the picture of President von der Leyen there, who kind of spoke about online safety and the importance of it in her State of the EU Union speech earlier this year. And so I think it's a really good time to be kind of engaging and trying to sort of promote the kind of awareness of things like the DSA. For me, it does make a real difference. I think it's right that it puts the spotlight onto the tech companies to ensure that platforms are safe for children and young people to use, to make sure that it is easier for them to report. But I think, this needs a multi-stakeholder approach, parents, young people themselves, teachers, and I think the Safer Internet Centres are such a great way to kind of be raising awareness and also enabling some of this to happen. I think if you're a busy parent, a busy teacher, where online safety is probably important, but a small piece of the much bigger, set of things that you have to deal with on a daily basis. I think looking to our excellent colleagues in the Safer Internet Centres to, kind of make this a bit more accessible is great. So look, in finishing, I want to say a huge thank you to Barbara, to Vivi, and to Sophia for giving up their time and sharing what their Safer Internet Centres have been doing. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who've joined or who kind of come and listen to the webinar later. We hope it was really helpful, and as I say, please do kind of look out for more information, and particularly at the kind of DSA for Youth campaign. But thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to you, Carla, to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla.